Hello, everyone, and welcome to a visual novel called Graveyard Girls. I'm not sure if this is a kinetic one, but we're going to find out, and it looked very beautiful, which is why I want to play it, so let's go ahead and start. Graveyard Girls depicts the complicated and traumatic aftermath of losing a parent during young adulthood. This topic has been addressed as authentically as possible. If you're struggling with grief, you may not have a safe experience playing this game. Content warning. Graveyard Girls contains strong language, mature humor, drug abuse, self-harm, mentions of suicide, alcohol use, and sexual themes. This game is intended for players age 18 years or older. Viewer discretion is advised. Would you like to continue? Yes. There might be options. The leaves crunch below my feet as I make my way through the cemetery, counting each row that I pass. A frigid gust of wind catches my hair and blows it into my vision. I tuck it away carefully. I can't help but remember how he used to tease me about finding my long hair everywhere. He'd always tell me how beautiful it was. Once I find the section I've been searching for, I let out a sigh, although it's not of relief. The stone-cold inscription stares back at me, expressionless. Jason Gray, beloved husband and father. As I read the name quietly to myself, I feel like he's greeted me in his own way. What am I supposed to say? Nothing seems quite right, so I settle on the simplest of phrases. Hi, Dad. I made it. I know it's been a while. In truth, it's been too long. The last time I visited, he didn't even have a headstone. I'm sorry. I should have come sooner. What am I thinking? Coming here isn't going to help. As if talking to a polished rock is going to bring any kind of closure. I turn to leave, but there is a magnetism to this place. As if he'd reached for my hand and said, "You're leaving already?" I gazed back at his headstone and whispered to myself, "You want me to stay? Fine." My mom always insisted that I be careful not to stand on graves while visiting cemeteries, but that was out of respect for strangers. This is my dad's resting place. I sat on his lap 1,000 times before. Why would he care if I rested on his grave now? I know he wouldn't have mind. Without another moment of hesitation, I brush away the leaves and sit back against his headstone. I lay my notebook across my thighs and settle into place. If I'm staying for a while, I guess I'll get comfy. Well, I'm guessing not much has changed with you. He'd appreciate that sarcasm. Dark humor was his thing. That's probably where I got it from. I'll just sit here and talk to myself, like a crazy person. As always. Oh yep, we got options. Let's talk about Mom. I guess it's time to tell you about what's been going on. You might not love what I have to say next. You'd probably be angry, at least I think you would have been. I'll try to keep it short. So, you died, and no one saw it coming. One day you were gone. I don't think I've processed that yet, to be honest. Mom couldn't handle the pain, so she shut down. I guess that was her coping mechanism. She spent months crying over you. She barely slept or ate. I didn't expect this to be easy, but I thought I'd still have my mom to lean on. I convinced myself that I was lucky to have her, regardless of how she was handling this. That's what I kept telling myself on the worst days. We weren't alone either. People tried to support her. Aunt Cora wanted her to visit a therapist, but Mom locked the doors and ignored her phone. I tried to talk with her too, but it was like she couldn't hear me. She was a shell of a person, shutting everything and everyone out. I thought she needed time, but one morning she packed her clothes and bought a plane ticket. There was no warning. She said she'd be back in 2 weeks, that she needed a vacation. Mom left, and it sucked to say, but I knew she wouldn't come back. I've seen her a handful of times since. One of those times was to sell the house that you built. I still drive past it. I like to pretend that you'll be waiting on the porch, having a cigarette or watering the plants. It's soothing in a strange way, like opening my favorite chapter in an old book, pretending I don't know the ending. I pause to catch my breath. Mom's in an apartment on the other side of the country with her new boyfriend, but I stayed here. She helped with my tuition and rent, but she's gone. Honestly, if you saw her today, you wouldn't recognize her. I feel like I never really knew her. She left me behind, and I think it's because I remind her of you. There's a hole in my heart where my mom used to be, and I hated her. A part of me still does. I used to think it would be easier if she disappeared. Isn't that horrible? Screw me. Saying it is worse than my feelings. Saying it is worse than feeling it quietly. Daddy, I spent so much time hating her. She took up all the space I had left in my heart. But the worst part of it is it's that I think I forgot to deal with losing you. That's why I'm here today. Because the person I need to talk to the most in the world isn't part of this world. I looked skywards as I blinked back, welling tears. Huh? And Cora used to tell me to think of you smiling down on me. I keep thinking how sweet she is to say that, but when I picture you, you're looking up. I know that sounds dark, but seriously, what's left of you is 6 feet below me. Cora wanted me to remember you in a happy way. I get that. I'm just too literal. I search for what to say next and wonder what he'd say if he were here. The truth is, I don't know what you'd feel. I didn't have a chance to get to know you better. Cora's words echo in my mind. Dad's smile. What was your smile like anyway? And why didn't I try harder to preserve it in the first place? A frustration that I can't swallow begins to form in my throat. I stay silent, afraid that my voice will break, and the rest of me will follow. I do my best to reanimate my dad's grin in my mind's eye, but there's nothing. A stray leaf dances in front of me before heading west with the wind. I push away the distraction and close my eyes, forcing myself to focus on his lost expressions. I try to revisit each part of him. His amber eyes, his perfectly straight nose, the way his eyebrows furrowed when I asked too many questions. Slowly I could piece him together, but he wouldn't assemble. Even his voice was a dulling whisper. Why couldn't I remember how he spoke? One exact phrase plucked from my memory would be enough to hear him, but the words remained unspoken. I couldn't even remember how he sounded when he said, "I love you." A familiar pain begins to claw on my chest, one I buried under a mountain of pills early this morning. No, not now. I inhale a ragged breath and shove the shadows away. It's something I practiced for a while now. Keep talking. Distract yourself. You know, it's good that I visit it before the snow. Winter is nearly here. You might not realize it, but today is your favorite holiday. Halloween? It's also the day you died. 4 years ago. Maybe you knew that part, though. He suffered long enough to know he was going to die, I think. That was the detail that made me vomit when they told me about his accident. He was awake when the ambulance arrived. Why wasn't it faster? In my constant reimaginings, he'd always be unconscious. I couldn't bring myself to picture any details. I didn't want to remember how he suffered, but it was part of his story. It was a part of his life. His suffering and vices had even drifted into my dreams lately. The anniversary always amplified them. I tried smoking and drinking just to see what you thought was so great about it. I must have got the genes from you because they're my favorite crutch now. I don't know why you tortured yourself with them. At least I have my reasons. But I did know. My mom stopped hiding their broken marriage once his casket was closed. I knew things were rough, but I didn't realize how destructive they were. Lately, I've started to question if my mother was a true monster in his life. It's funny, I spent so much time asking myself why you tortured yourself with shitty choices when I mirror them daily. That's why I'm here too. Because I'm your daughter. I came here to suffer, not to heal. This pain doesn't mend like a paper cut, Dad. It festers like a gunshot. I'm so frustrated because now I know who Mom is. She's shown the world her true colors. You deserved better. Why can't I picture her so perfectly? It's not fair. I bite my lip and push my mother's face from my memory. This isn't about her. Don't let her steal this moment. Anyway, I've been writing. Quite a lot, actually. Almost daily. It's therapeutic, I think. Getting my feelings on paper helps me detach from them. They're a little less heavy than when I read them aloud. When I write, I can push the darkest thoughts I'm having away, even momentarily. The best part is, I'm not afraid that someone's listening and analyzing. It feels safer than the grief counseling I attended. I don't think the professionals were judging me, but when they listened, I felt them processing my words and misunderstanding. Just because I write dark things doesn't mean I'm a dark person. I'm reaching for brighter thoughts and feeling when I let those words go, and feelings. My new therapist understands. She's different than the others. It finally feels important that I go to my appointments. I don't look forward to them because they're a lot. But when I leave, I feel lighter, like I've lessened the load on my shoulders. I got scared sometimes, because each day is a wild card. I hate feeling like everything is out of my control. I'm terrified that therapy can't save me. I don't want to bottle things up again. Holding that shit in was the worst idea I've ever had. Screw it. Dad, I'm done pretending. I drink, I smoke, I popped some pills before I left the house. I'll do anything to be numb. And I'm afraid that scribbling my feelings isn't enough. I thought the pain was dueling, but it's worse than the day you died. I know you're not here today, but I keep picturing you in every tomorrow. And each day, that image grows a little dimmer. Between losing you and Mom taking off, I've been trying so hard to feel empty. Being happy felt out of reach, so feeling less became the best option. Turns out being destructive couldn't save me. You can't hear drowning girls cry. I wipe away the overflowing stream of tears with my sleeve and shut my eyes. Practice those deep breaths. It's okay to be upset. I inhale and exhale, but the breaths are intruded on. The earth sways below as a sensation of floating overcomes me, almost like sitting on a boat. Uh-oh. Why does it feel like the world's drifting? It's probably those stupid allergy pills. A twinge of concern washes over me as I try to imagine the state of my liver, but I excuse the thoughts quickly. It's not like I eat vegetables or drink enough water anyway. Coffee, bread, and cheese are my food groups. It was dumb to take more pills than before leaving. I know it's a bad day when they can't keep me from crying. I try to focus on the positives. At least I was doing better. Taking them as prescribed was a challenge, but I'd managed to for quite a while. Today was a hiccup. They're usually a subtle but helpful bandage. I'm an idiot for thinking they'll handle this visit. Subtle can't cover this. How could I ever expect this visit to be easy? It was naive of me. Today is always going to freaking sting. The words I whispered under my breath 1,000 times echo out once again. You're never going to be okay. You're never going to be okay. Never, ever again. I tell myself that I need to get those words out of my system. But I know that they're bound to sit on the tip of my tongue again, waiting to escape. With my eyes still shut, I sigh and let my thoughts drift with the vertigo. Maybe those pills weren't so useless. A chilly gust lifts fluttering leaves away from the earth, and I can hear them dancing through the air. I begin to imagine that I'm flying with them, twirling away from this place, away from my body. Hello? A voice? I must have imagined it. Wake up, bro. Are you okay? What the? I opened my eyes and stumbled upwards in a daze. I hurriedly dusted off my clothes before looking towards the stranger behind the question. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm taken aback by her presence. I didn't expect to see anyone here. No, it's fine. You didn't scare me. My throbbing heart tells a different story. I suddenly feel thankful that I'm not the blushing type. Are you alright? I'm fine. Why? She gestures towards my dad's headstone and subtly raises her eyebrows. I think you were sleeping on someone's grave. Did you, know them? I laugh half-heartedly. It's my dad. He wouldn't mind. Oh! The girl's posture stiffens noticeably, and I remind myself to tone back the abruptness. You're not talking to a ghost anymore. Act normal. Oh. Ask why she's here. I'm more interested in that. What are you doing here? I'm not here because it's Halloween, if that's what you're asking. I'm visiting, I guess. Smooth question, coming off real friendly, Ellie. Sorry, I phrased that poorly. I'm Ellie, by the way. I'm Lucia. So, Ellie, do you mind if I ask why you're napping in a cemetery? Well, it wasn't on the agenda. I took allergy medication, and it hit harder than I anticipated. Oof, I've been there. What are you allergic to? I scrambled to come up with a good excuse. I'm allergic to grief, okay, Lucia? Quit judging me. Not too sure. Had some hives and figured it was best to take a pill. Or 4. I get it. Sometimes cats make my eyes itchy. I pet them anyway, they're worth it. I can't help but smile back at Lucia. She seems sweet. So you were visiting someone too? Lucia's smiles falters. Nice job. You're always good at brightening the room. Yes, my sister passed away. Her name was Kate. She died last week. I can't help but regurgitate the sentence that everyone had spoken to me in the past. I'm sorry. Lucia shifts her feet uncomfortably and stares at the ground. I remember standing like that too, unsure of how to respond. Ah, sorry, that wasn't the right thing to say. I don't mind. It's what everyone says. I know. I've been there. My dad died 4 years ago, so the memories are still pretty fresh. Lucia's eyes widen fearfully. They are? I struggle to backtrack, jumping to console her as best as I can. Not in the same way you're feeling. I mean, that it's his anniversary today, so it feels closer than usual. Lucia's shoulders drop slightly as her gaze softens. That's understandable. I get it now. I'll be visiting on Kate's day too. Doesn't visiting get easier? A Molotov mixture of disgust and embarrassment builds in my chest. What am I supposed to say? Let's just be honest. That's all you can do. I decide the truth is my best option. I don't know. Her eyebrows furrow slightly, a hint of confusion in her gaze. What do you... I mean that I haven't been here since he was... I trail off, the words too heavy to speak. I haven't talked about his burial before. The smooth and polished shine of his cherry wood casket revisits me. No, don't cry in front of her. Don't scare her. I shake my head to try to find my way back to the present. Sorry. Lucia nods in silent understanding. We pause for a moment, both not quite sure how to continue. Lucia takes a step closer, trying her best to mend the gap between us. Ellie, you don't have to explain. I'm sorry that I prodded. I expected the knots in my stomach to twist and tighten, but they nearly surrender as Lucia looks at me apologetically. Instead of burying the words and leading them to wait for my notebook, I speak up. I want to explain. Lucia smiles softly with a hint of encouragement. When it came to visiting, I couldn't do it. It never felt right. My memories of him aren't in this spot. They're everywhere but here. I tried once, but it wasn't long after he'd passed. He was full of life, so his graveside, it wasn't a place I could reflect on him. Until today? Yeah, today I wanted to try again. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess I hoped it would help with the closure. Lucia looks towards my father's headstone. Those are beautiful flowers. I like the arrangement you chose. I bite my lip unconsciously. Thanks, but I didn't leave those. I think his sister was here earlier. Cora is big on flowers. Oh, well, she has good taste. Sorry to focus on the flowers, I can't help myself. I'm a florist. That's interesting. The anxious realization that I never thought to bring my dad flowers hits me. It never even crossed my mind. Does Lucia think it's rude that I didn't? Maybe you could suggest a bouquet for my dad. I should have brought one. Hey, if it's not your thing, don't feel like you have to buy them. Lucia smiles carefully as she reads me like an open book. I do have an idea, though. If you want to leave him something meaningful, please, I'd love to. I expect it not to mean that, but for some reason I want it to. Wait here, please. I nod as Lucia walks past me. I flip through my notes instead of staring after her, doing my best not to act entranced. Where did this girl come from? She's so sweet. She's so sweet. The crunch of fallen leaves under footsteps carries from the distance. Lucia stands closer than before. I brought you this. She reaches into her bag and extends her hand. Oh, that's such a beautiful image. A single icy blue rose sits between her thumb and forefinger. I reach forward but stop in hesitation. Where did you get it? It was left at Kate's grave. A gasp escapes my lips and I shake my head. I can't take that. No, don't worry. Kate would want your father to have a flower. She doesn't like roses anyway. Lucia trails off, realizing what she said. I mean, Kate didn't like roses. I try my best to reassure her with my gaze as I accept the rose. Thank you. The present tense thing, it goes away. Don't feel like you need to jump to correct yourself. Well, time will take care of it. Lucia nods silently in response. As I kneel against the cold earth to place the blue rose on my dad's grave, I realize how fresh the flower is. The edges of the petals have barely begun to wilt. I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. Before turning towards her, I ask the question on my mind. Lucia? When was Kate's funeral? Yesterday. As I face Lucia, I want to ask her why she's here today. I want to know how she's doing. I want to hug her. I want to make her feel less alone, even if for a fraction of a second. I want to give her what I never had. A moment of silence passes by us. But before I can ask Lucia to let me in, she breaks the silence herself. Are you still tired? I massage the back of my neck absent-mindedly and laugh a little. Yeah. Did the dark circles give me away? Lucia giggles softly. No, your eyes are fine. That was kind of her to lie about. I've looked in the mirror before. I can't believe I fell asleep. It's a little embarrassing. Don't worry about it. Do you drink coffee? Yes. Let me buy you one. You don't want to sleep through Halloween. There's a great coffee shop in the Old Town district. Old Town? Isn't that a little far? Did you drive here? No, I walked. Well, I don't mind giving you a ride. Let me take you. It's my treat. Unless you have other plans. I don't, but... A part of me remains hesitant. Getting into cars with strangers isn't something my parents encourage, that's for sure. She seems harmless enough, but I don't actually know her. Plus, today is not exactly an easy day for me. Lucia quietly reads over my rigid stance. Without explanation, she grins and starts to giggle at me. Did you want to take a selfie together? What? You can send it to a friend. That way, if you go missing, they'd know exactly who to look for. I smile back at her and subtly shake my head. Nah, it's fine. I stick out my thumb in a hitchhiking fashion. I love the thrill of getting into a stranger's car. Lucia playfully rolls her eyes before winking at me. Buckle up then. We're going for a ride. I think these two are about to hook up, you guys. We head towards the road, walking past rows of headstones side by side. I didn't imagine I'd be leaving here with someone. The feeling of walking close to her is strangely comforting. I guess I always expected to be here alone. Even if I had a special person in my life, I wouldn't ask them to come here. It's hard to understand what it's like to visit this place, unless you're missing someone. It's such a beautiful image, too. The graveyard in the autumn. The drive to the coffee shop is uneventful. Lucia's car has heated seats, so I try my best to subtly warm my hands under my legs. She doesn't seem to notice and stays focused on driving. We chat about the weather mostly. Once we reach the Old Town district, Lucia carefully navigates towards the last parking spot on the street. This is the place. I haven't been here in forever. After stepping out of the car, Lucia tugs gently on my sweater and guides me to the crosswalk. She's practically bouncing towards the cafe. Once we cross, we find ourselves at the front doors. Despite the chilly weather, they still offer outdoor seating. A waitress steps outside to greet us with a smile on her face. "Welcome. If you'd like to take a seat, I'll be right with you." As the waitress steps inside, I move to follow her. Lucia pulls at my sleeve again with an expectant grin. "Let's sit out here, it's more private." As we take our seats outside the cafe, I can feel the energy of the cemetery fall away. Our table is vibrantly decorated with Halloween-themed trinkets and candies. This is so cute. I can't argue with that. She definitely chose a festive spot. The street is bustling with gals and witches. Even our waitress is dressed up. "Happy Halloween! Can I interest you in one of our spooky specials?" Lucia's eyes light up immediately. "Ooh, what are they?" The waitress grins, realizing she's hooked Lucia in. "Today we have our pumpkin cheesecake paired with any of our fall specialty drinks for $8.99. Oh, that's not bad at all, though. If you're craving something warm and hearty, we have butternut squash soup and one of our fresh-baked biscuits." Lucia squeals with delight. "I love cheesecake! Could I get a pumpkin cheesecake with a pumpkin spice latte, please?" I guess she likes pumpkins. After jotting down Lucia's order, the waitress' gaze darts towards me. "What would you like?" "The pumpkin cheesecake sounds fine. And what to drink?" I rack my brain for anything other than the pumpkin spice latte. "Sorry, what are your other fall drinks?" "Maple pecan and chai lattes." "Oh, let's get a chai latte." Lucia raises her eyebrows and whispers exaggeratively across the table. "Psst, the maple pecan sounds super yummy." "No, get the chai, get the chai." I can't help but chuckle. "Alright, okay, I'll get a maple pecan latte." "Come on, Ellie." The waitress nods and leaves with a smile. "Ellie, get the chai latte. Order a chai latte." "That's what I asked. I'm the player. I should choose what latte I get. I am gonna start a petition where I get to choose the chai latte option. Let me choose my lattes, okay?" It might not affect the story, but I still want the chai one instead of the pecan. Even the pecan, well, okay. The pecan make-well does sound pretty good, okay, fine. I admit it. It does sound like something I wouldn't mind trying myself. But I always had a thing for chai, you know. Barely a minute passes before our waitress rushes back to the table. "Here are your lattes." "Thanks so much. I'll bring you your cheesecake as soon as it's ready." Lucia peers over at me with a curious glimmer in her eyes. "Do you think it's too hot to sip?" "I'm sure it's fine." I lift the cup to my lips and decide to take a swig. Yikes! My throat burns as I try desperately to clear it inconspicuously. I do my best not to sputter on Lucia as I reply. "It's quite warm still." The waitress should have said something about that. She giggles softly. "You didn't need to be my lab rat. Just trying to be helpful." Lucia raises her cup and takes a careful sip. "It's not that hot. Were you trying to scare me?" "Well, it is Halloween. Ooh, the coffee's too hot. It's spooky. The steam looks like a ghost." How did she not scold herself? Does she have no sense of temperature? Maybe that's why she chose outdoor seating on this chilly day. "Do you like celebrating Halloween?" I falter, unsure of how to explain myself. "I used to." Lucia realizes what she's asked. How could you dare to ask if I like Halloween, the same day that my father just so happened to love, and the same day that my father just so happened to pass away on? "Sorry, I can't believe I forgot that today is no apology necessary. I tried my best to steer the conversation with a lighter tone in my voice. I do like Halloween, by the way. It's pretty great. I just haven't done much other than hand out candy for a few years. The kids in my neighborhood love my place, and they know I'm always have a ton of treats. You only hand out candy? You haven't dressed up? No, but I did like that part when I was in high school. Great! I'm going to a costume party tonight. What did you think? Spooky or smexy? Huh? What kind of costume should I go with? I have a closet full of options. Oh, yes, let's do spooky. I'm not in the mood for the other one. Spooky, it's classic. She grins with an almost fiendish quality. I like how you think. Maybe I'll dress up as a witch. I can see her pulling off that look. Your hair is perfect for a witch costume. You could go for a real mystic vibe. You think so? Absolutely. Well, would you let me tell your fortune then? I shrugged casually. Really? I get to choose her Halloween costume, but I don't get to choose my latte. Come on, game. Sure, I love to get some insight. Lucia reaches over and takes my hand in her own. She studies it carefully, squinting with exaggerated focus. Evening, there are stars in the night sky. I see you're headed towards a house. She closes her eyes and yanks at my horn even harder. I nearly fall across the table. Hey, be careful! Shh. There's a crowd of swirling capes and vibrant dresses. Ooh! Drinks and candies are being passed around a colorfully lit room. You will arrive there very soon. I will? Lucia releases my hand from her grip and opens her eyes. So, did you want to come to the party with me? I was going to go alone, but it would be great to bring a... Lucia's words drifted away from me. My limbs stiffened, as if I'd suddenly been plunged into icy water. A party on Halloween? That night? He went out that night. I was the one that called him. I bite my cheek, desperate to escape the coursing river of guilt. No freaking out. Not now. I dig my nails into my palm, trying to snap myself away from the echo of that Halloween party. Okay, focus and breathe. The idea of rejecting Lucia hurts, but I can't go with her. The voice of my therapist saying trauma trigger rings in my ear. I promised that I'd stop being self-destructive, and I can't risk Lucia seeing me like that. I can't. Not tonight, at least. The ghost of that distant night disappears as quickly as it arrives. I'm at the cafe with Lucia. I'm okay. Lucia grips the handle of her mug and spins it absent-mindedly. I thought you didn't have any plans. I have a date later. Sorry that I didn't mention it. A frown escapes Lucia. A date? I nod. Yep, with a bowl of leftover candy. Leftover? Oh. Relief washes over her. If it isn't obvious already, I'm painfully single. It's not obvious. Really? Of course it isn't. You're so pretty. For a second, my heart skips a beat. Wow. I realized how rude I might be coming off. I mean, thanks. We break eye contact and struggle to continue. That's one way to snap back into reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Oops. Come on, keep it up. So, what's it like being a florist? My ploy to redirect the conversation is painfully evident. Hey, how about you just join me for some leftover candy, Lucia? Come on. Skip the party. Come eat leftover candy with me and watch some spooky movies or something. Lucia doesn't brush me off, luckily. My family has owned a flower shop for 3 generations, so it's pretty natural for me. What about you? Are you a student? No, I graduated from a tourism and hospitality group. I work at a Spring Dream Suites. That sounds interesting. It's really not. My job is to fend off bad reviews, basically. Lucia laughs, but I'm afraid it's forced. Do you like to travel? I haven't really traveled since I was a kid. But if I ever had a chance, I'd love to work at a resort. Just to see what it's like to live in a warm climate. Count me in! I'm always down to book a room at an island resort. I promise I'll leave a good review too, if you get me a discount. I can't help but giggle. I'll do my best. I'm curious about your job. Why did you join your family's business? They started training me when I was young. I spent plenty of summers playing in my grandmother's garden. She started the business with my grandfather. It's beautiful. They have a huge property out on the countryside. I loved putting together bouquets for my mom when I was little. My grandma would help me pick them so that they always turned out perfectly. She called it my training. Her plan worked though. I'm running the business with my parents now. My grandparents are retired, but they still help out when we're short-handed. Lucia's gaze seems to intensify. It feels like she's looking right through me. Is she alright? She notices my concern and smiles reassuringly. She's probably thinking about what her sister's hand in the business was. Sorry, I was thinking about those summers as a kid with my sister, who is now long gone. I can still picture the day that my sister made a flower crown out of daisies. Yep, I knew it. She put it on my head and she called me a princess. It was just a game to Kate, but... She clears her throat. It was the day I fell in love with flowers. I'll never forget it. Lucia. That was a vulnerable moment. Her hands tremble ever so slightly. She must have been nervous to share that memory with me. That's so specific. Hello, ladies, here's your pumpkin cheesecake. Before I can finish, our waitress interrupts. We wait for her to set down our plates and cutlerly. Can I get you anything else? I think we're good, thanks. The waitress steps away and heads inside. I fiddle with my notebook and flip through the pages while Lucia sips her drink. Ellie, can I ask you a question? I smile, eager to start chatting again. Go ahead. Lucia motions towards the table. What's that? Oh, it's my notebook. Like a diary? Sort of. It has a bit of everything. Unfinished thoughts, sketches, and some journaling. I don't usually carry it around. You brought it for your dad. Maybe it was obvious, or maybe she understands me. Yeah, I did. I thought about reading to him, but I felt weird once I got there. I talked to him instead, which wasn't much easier. I think I know how you feel. I tried talking to Kate today, but I couldn't. I left her voicemails instead. It felt closer to how things were, almost normal. It's subtle, but Lucia's voice breaks as she trails off. Instinctively, I reach across the table. For a fraction of a second, my hand rests atop her own. I pull away, swiftly, fearing that I've invaded her space. Sorry. She stares at her lap, unmoving. Thank you. That was nice. For a moment, I envisioned the horrible precipice. Lucia is hovering on the edge of precipice. Unfiltered, unprocessed, raw grief. One day, she's going to realize that in an infinite possibilities of this universe, she will never see her sister again. The realization that there will never be another moment shared with Kate. The end of making memories and the beginning of their blurring. It seems clear, but it never is. Ellie? Yeah. Lucia bites at her lip and stares into her cup. I have a question that I'm afraid to ask anyone else. I don't want to be weird or rude, but you seem to understand loss better than anyone I've spoken to. I struggle to give her a good answer. What if I make her feel worse? I decide to warn her. Honestly, I'm not the best person to get grief counseling from. I need someone to be real with me. I'm tired of being brushed off. Suddenly, the circle of chairs in the church basement revisits me. I felt brushed off too. It was so discouraging. Alright. What did people say to you? I heard that the stages can take years, but that the pain won't last forever. Is it true? The stages? Honestly, I forgot how much people like to focus on that idea. My grief wasn't in stages, at least. Not in the way I expected. She gives me a quizzical stare through glassy eyes. Emotions aren't dominoes. They don't fall in a logical pattern. My grief falls like sudden rain on cloudless days. I can wake up in acceptance and go to bed angry or bargaining. Lucia's eyes brighten. That was poetic. I ignore her praise. Look, I know that your sister is always on your mind right now, but there's going to be days where you forget about Kate for longer than you ever thought possible. I forgot about my dad all the time. Lucia seems startled by my admission. There are moments when his memory doesn't stir any pain or tears. Because you're healing? No. I feel ashamed or angry, even dull at times. It always feels wrong. You'll probably be disgusted with yourself for pulling it together and burying how deeply you miss her. I've felt punished for trying to function. Going to work, visiting friends, or even getting dressed. Putting away the pain is harder than carrying it. I just want you to know that. There's no winning. There's no easy way to process this loss. She blinks carefully, intentionally, as if she's truly absorbing the information. You know, Lucia stops to clear her throat before continuing. I didn't plan to go back to Kate's grave today. You didn't? No. I was driving around mindlessly, and it sort of dawned on me that wandering in the days was disrespectful to her memory. She would have done anything for a clear moment. I'm not sure that I follow. I don't want to demand answers, but I can't nod and pretend it makes sense, like the grief group did. I'm not here to tell her that she is young and that'll make it easier. That was wrong of them. Antidotes and adages aren't solutions. Antidotes and adages aren't solutions. I want to listen and do my best to understand her, but Lucia doesn't move to explain herself. If you're not ready to tell, no, it's fine. Sorry, I need a moment. I nod and wait for her to gather her thoughts. She takes a deep breath and begins. Kate suffered from chronic health problems and taught me what a privilege and pain-free day is. She tried her best to live a normal life, but her health and had a habit of stealing happy moments from her. One morning, Kate didn't get up for breakfast. My mom went upstairs to check on her. They had plans to go shopping, so it was odd that she hadn't started getting ready. When my mom walked in, Kate wouldn't wake up. She was taking prescriptive drugs for her illness, and she aspirated in her sleep. It was sudden. She died all alone. And now I'm here, 1 week later, enjoying a pumpkin spice latte while my sister starts to rot in the ground. My heart shudders as she speaks the word, rot. So yeah, I get what you mean. There are no right choices. Every moment without her feels wrong. I feel like a stranger in my own life. I'd never say anything like that, especially to someone I've just met, but I spoke without hesitating. And now I'm regretting every word. I'm afraid that you think I'm a freak. Absolutely not. I would never think that of you. No, it's horrible, but everything you said makes perfect sense. I don't want to tell her anything else. I don't want her to know that my heart doesn't feel like it did before. Lucia gives me a look that cuts deep. This girl is staring into my eyes looking for hope. I reach out and squeeze her hand, but the comfort is forced. I don't know how to tell her that I'm broken too. She doesn't deserve the whiplash of false hope. I don't want to see her bite that apple. I don't want to watch it turn into bitter ash on her tongue. I pull my hand away and break the silence. Can I put my number in your phone? Lucia straightens her posture and reaches for her bag. Sure. She unlocks her phone and hands it over. I carefully type my information into the new contact menu, making sure I leave no mistakes. I know it's a cliché, but you can call me anytime. I don't care why, either. It doesn't have to be an emergency. She nods as she stashes her cell phone back into her bag. Thank you. I still have questions, if you're willing. I feel an aesthetic hesitation burning in my throat. I'm not sure if I'm the person you should be around right now. I think you're wrong. I don't think I am. I tried talking to other people dealing with loss, and it didn't help. Sometimes I wonder if the opposite would have been better. Maybe you need to surround yourself with people who don't get it. How would that help? Maybe you'll convince yourself that you're just like them. Fake it till you make it, but the grief counseling version. I don't think that works for me, for anyone. Being fake about how you feel, I don't know. It just doesn't help, in my opinion. Look, I get it. If you don't want to talk about grief, but I don't need kid gloves. She points to my lap. I want to hear the Ellie that's in the notebook. I know you've already let me listen to her. When? The poetry. Grief that falls like sudden rain on cloudless days. I bet you $20 that's been written in there. As much as I wouldn't mind paying for her meal, I wouldn't bet against her. I know she's right, and she knows it too. I push aside my uncertainty. It's not like you have to see her again. If your answer freaks her out, it was her choice to insist on them. But I find myself imagining her in my future. Where she fits in, I'm not sure. But I'm certain that I want to see her again. Okay, I'll bite. Finally. First, you have to make me a promise. What kind of promise? When we go our separate ways, you have to text me after. Even if it's to say bye forever. Okay? I promise that I'll text you. I wink at Lucia playfully. Ask me anything, I'm an open book. She grins at the notebook pun. Okay, let's start weird. Was your dad's service an open casket? Yep. Did he look himself? They never do. I hadn't seen a body before Kate's service. I don't know what to expect a dead person to look like, but it wasn't that. Looking at her made me feel sick. Or maybe it was afraid? I couldn't believe it was her. She looked like a doll, like a weird imitation of Kate. Even when I wasn't staring at her, I knew exactly where she was. I couldn't tear my mind away from that image. She definitely didn't look like she was sleeping. She looked dead. I could barely focus on the service. She was all I saw. It's awful, but I can't really remember what anyone said to me that day. The eulogies are a blur. I pierced my lips. How did no one notice how she felt about seeing her dad, Ed's sister? Why didn't anyone help her? I'm sorry nobody warned you about before the funeral. I'm sorry that no one saw what you were dealing with during it either. You needed support and you deserved it. Thanks. Having a viewing isn't right for everyone. Please don't worry. It's okay to be freaked out. You're not the first to feel that way, trust me. There's a term for it. Seriously? Yeah, it's called Uncanny Valley. When you look at someone you've seen animated with life and see that emptiness, that absolute absence of energy. It's different for everyone, but you're not going to like it. I'm sorry you saw Kate that way. You deserve the option not to. Lucia frowned sharply. You're right. No one asked if I wanted an open casket. My parents did all the planning. I just showed up. My mom did the opposite. She dragged me to every moment of planning. Choosing Dad's casket. It's burned into my memory. There's no winning when you don't get a choice. We both deserve to make our own decisions. Lucia nods as her expression softens. Ellie, please don't feel pressure. I get it if you can't share anymore. I know that I'm not entitled to your pain or experiences, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to hear them. Can I ask another question? Alright, I'm gonna say yes, obviously. I want the full story. Go for it. Lucia's lips quiver as her amber eyes betray a sliver of anxiety. You sure? Please, I want to help. She swallows audibly. Do you feel like he's watching you? An old weight descends and perches on my shoulders. The hovering of familiar eyes. A specter I thought I'd left in the past. I shrug it away with a practiced breath. In the first few weeks after he died, yeah. Quite often. That goes away fast, I think. You don't remember? I can't tell her how I yelled at nothingness in the days before my dad's funeral. How I ordered him away for my own comfort. That I didn't want him to visit ever. I needed to live without his ghostly gaze. That stays between us. Simplicity is best. It goes away. Or you just decide that you don't care what they see. A hint of blush touches her cheeks. It better go away. I feel weird showering today. I couldn't stop picturing her standing on the other side of the curtain, waiting. It's eerie. I feel like I'm going crazy. I promise you're not crazy, I've been there. How did you do it? What? Cope. How did I cope? That's an impossible question. I'll keep going. Honestly, that's an answer I'm still searching for. You must have tried something. Oh, Lucia, I tried plenty. I decided to turn the question back towards her. What have you tried in the first week? My hair, I guess. It wasn't this color last week. I had the appointment before Kate died. She booked it for me. I couldn't bring myself to cancel it, so I went to her funeral like this. There's a hint of regret in her voice. There's nothing wrong with fashion colors. Maybe from your perspective. I thought it would make me happy, but it didn't work. I remember when I felt that way too. When I thought that a haircut or a tattoo could spill some color into a gray haze. I regret not rescheduling, at least. My cousin implied that I was trying to steal Kate's spotlight. Some of Kate's friends did too. Spotlight? What a poor choice of words. That wasn't fair of them to say, but it was. I did that when she was alive. Kate was my best friend and my worst enemy. I got so jealous of her constantly. The worst part was Kate knew it, and she always did her best to reassure me that I was pretty or popular too. It didn't matter what was bothering me. She would zero in on it and try to fix things. Kate could be too kind. It was disarming and infuriating. As much as she bugged me, I would do anything to get that back. I want her to make it better. I need to know what to do with all of this. I'm overflowing with feelings towards her, and there's no resolution. I can't work it out with her. Every chance slipping away in an instant. There is no outlet for this ocean of pain, and it hurts. I want to stop, just for a second. I want a break. I can't give you a break. No one else can. I know. I raised my hand to stop her. Wait, I wasn't done. I can't give you a break, but when things get too stormy, I can be your anchor. I wait, half expecting her to burst into laughter over the lame sentiment. Or maybe she'll pity me and say thanks as quickly as possible. Her eyes grow wide in disbelief. Why? You don't even know me. I think I know you better than you want me to. I know the questions in your head. I've lived them. Lucia freezes. Maybe that scares you? I feel like you know me too, and it's uncomfortable. It fills me with insecurities I didn't even know I had. But I still want to see you again. I want to meet the other pieces of you. I mean, I don't know your favorite color or hobbies, but I want to. She doesn't respond. That's the long-winded version of why I'll be there if you call. If you want to see me again. Lucia finally emerges from her silence. I do. But if you're going to know my story, I need to hear more of yours. I can tell you're censoring it. I'm not that blind, either. When I asked you about that Halloween party, you froze up. I saw it. Something stole you from our conversation for just a second. You don't need to hide that from me. If I'm going to be vulnerable, can't you be too? I promise I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going anywhere. Will you tell me what happened to you? Obviously, I'm going to say it. Yes. But if you have questions, wait until I'm finished. Lucia nods in agreement. Okay, I can do that. Fair warning, it's a long and messy story. If it's too much to hear right now, please stop me. I will if I need to. Alright? I swallow, but the lump in my throat remains. It's an uncomfortable ache. Until today, I hadn't felt that for months. Maybe even years. It's better than feeling nothing, right? I turn my attention back to Lucia. I'm going to think aloud here. If I come off as erratic, that's why. Honestly, I'm ashamed of myself. And that's not typical. I've hated myself. I felt angry, lonely, and stupid. But never ashamed. There was no one around that I cared enough about to feel shame. When you started asking questions, you made me reflect for the first time in a while. Despite my declaration of honesty, I can't help but hold back. Vulnerability is not my thing. It's exactly why therapy has always been a struggle. I decide to borrow the attitude I fought so hard to leave behind. Screw it. Here goes nothing. 4 years ago, I went to a Halloween party. Lucia's eyebrows raised, quite equally as expected. I was home from college that weekend, and I was so excited to get together with my old friends. We'd all gone to different schools, so it was something we'd been planning a while now. We were all dressed up together before the crowd arrived. It started out pretty innocently, but a ton of people showed up and the party got kinda crazy. My friend was hosting, and she didn't mind, luckily. Originally, I planned to stay the night, but I ended up drinking way too much and I needed to go home early. My boyfriend stayed on campus that weekend, so he couldn't give me a ride. I called my dad after midnight and he agreed to come pick me up. He wasn't mad or anything. He was glad that I called when I needed him. I was just having fun and overindulged. He understood. My dad was driving to my friend's place when a teenager in a truck blew through a stop sign and T-boned him. When the emergency services arrived, my dad was still awake. He didn't make it to the hospital. I wait, trying to gauge Lucia's response. She seems okay. I'll keep going. The kid that caused the accident walked away with superficial scratches. He was lucky in that regard, but mentally, he was traumatized. I don't have any ill will towards him anymore. He did his best to make amends with my family. Honestly, I hope he can live a normal life. One mistake shouldn't haunt him forever. After my dad died, things with my mom went downhill pretty quickly. I left school to stay home with her. It didn't feel right to leave her all alone. Things fizzled out with my boyfriend because of the distance, so I was dealing with my stuff too. I tried to be there for my mom, but nothing worked. When I spoke with her, she made me feel like I didn't exist. And when I tried to tell her about my feelings, she shut me down. She treated suffering like a competition. She said that he was just my dad. She ranted on how we were went to lose our parents. That he was her husband, and that her pain would never end. I barely recognized her. There was even a time when I thought she might kill herself. I didn't know what to do. I was practically still a teenager. I catch myself holding back, but push through. It was freaking scary. Lucia pierces her lips and nods solemnly. Her eyes speak as sincere and I am sorry as soon as she possibly can. But she stays true to her word and doesn't interrupt, sensing that my story isn't complete. Without much of an explanation, she suddenly went on a vacation and never really came back. She moved to the West Coast and got a fresh start. Wow, you left college for her, but she just straight up abandoned you and then treated your grief like it wasn't as powerful as her grief, and probably even blamed you for his death. What a story. I grit my teeth, forcing myself to say what I'd only ever felt before. My mom said that I was always welcome to join her, but I know she only offered because she knew I refused to move. She knew that I wouldn't follow her. Eventually, she ended up hating my dad. I think it was her way of coping. Their marriage wasn't perfect, so she clung to everything that was wrong. He was a shift worker, always rotating from days to nights. It meant that he didn't get to spend as much time with us as he would have liked, but it paid for my mom's lifestyle. She always had new clothes, a new car, whatever she asked him for. I know he loved her. He used gifts to try to make up for his schedule. My mom doesn't seem to remember that side of him. I guess it's easier to hate someone rather than mourn them. She never fails to talk badly about him when we're on the phone. In her eyes, her new boyfriend is perfect and my dad was human garbage. I can't stand to listen to her for too long, so I keep our calls short and space out. My therapist calls it creating boundaries. It feels like giving up though, because in the end, my mom got what she wanted. My mom's goal was to get rid of me and she won. Call it a mental breakdown, a midlife crisis, or whatever you want. There's something I've never been able to shake off even years later. As I fight to utter them, the words try to escape me. They're unspeakable thoughts. Lucia looks at me questioningly, and I nod. Ellie, you're safe with me. Please, you can say it. I exhale. Every day I wake up and I think I want to go home. But I can't. That part of my life, that door is locked. I shake my head, disagreeing with my statement. No, that's not it. I want to go home, but my mom burned the whole house down. When I think of that part of my life, it's like sifting through a pile of ashes. There's nothing left. I did stupid things trying to numb the pain. I partied, slept around. I couldn't go a day without smoking. I was always reaching for painkillers too. I think I convinced myself they quiet the throbbing in my head. House parties were too close to losing him, so I went to nightclubs instead. I remember dancing in the middle of a neon crowd, feeling more alone than I've ever thought possible. I was surrounded by people smiling and partying, but there was no happiness. I realized no one was looking for me. I was screaming for help and no one could hear me. My dad was dead. My mom had a new life. I was completely alone. Those choices were my own, but they were choices my parents would have protected me from. I got lucky in the end. My doctor probably saved my life. His office called for an annual checkup, and instead of canceling, I felt compelled to go. I didn't tell him much, but he saw signs and pushed me into treatment. Lucia, I'm not the kind of person you should be around. I'm not good. My mom, Warm tears spilled down my frigid cheeks, the spring rain on forgotten snow. My throat constricts, threatening to choke my words into silence. I don't know what I did. I don't know why she left. I don't know why she stopped loving me. Lucia reached across the table and squeezes my hand. As her fingertips brush across my skin, my shoulders drop up. How does she do that? She has such a subtle presence. The smallest gesture feels like she's wrapped me in a fuzzy blanket. Why? Why do I feel safe telling you this? Lucia's expression softens as she pulls her hand away. Maybe this wasn't an accidental connection. I hastily wipe away the tears with my sleeve, doing my best to compose myself. What do you mean? I never planned to visit the cemetery. My sister wasn't the reason I pulled over. It was because of you. The universe put you there, and pulled me in like a magnet. I was sent to find you. I think we were meant to meet. You know what? I'm not gonna step on her while she's down. Maybe you're right. Okay, I'll be honest. Even I thought that. I mean, this is obviously a visual novel where they're supposed to meet up and stuff. But, like, I thought it was fate. The moment I walked in. When I visited the grave, I nearly left as soon as I got there. I felt stupid for thinking that a visit could help me find closure. I was going to leave, but I felt a pull, so I sat down and stayed. A magnetism. That could have been the allergy meds, though. They're prescribed by my doctor for anxiety. I took more than I'm supposed to. Lucia stiffens. I know it's wrong. I'm not perfect. I'm an idiot, honestly. I promise I won't do it again. But if I hadn't, we probably wouldn't have met. She nods sympathetically. That's something to talk to your doctor about, Ellie. Or a mental health professional. Please be careful. Kate took her meds properly, and it still had unexpected consequences. Make an appointment when you go home. I nod in agreement. I will. Good, I'll hold you to it. She sticks out her tongue playfully. Book that, and our next cheesecake date is on me. Another date? Maybe she is my type. It's a deal. Great. Also, I want to make a point. I don't think anxiety meds are why we met. I have to argue fate's case. I think there was a sign that we were meant to find each other. I just couldn't see it until now. What sign? The bouquet of blue roses for Kate. They weren't there during her burial. Someone dropped them off afterwards. I don't follow. Well, the thing about blue roses is they're not a typical flower to leave at the grave all on their own. Usually you have an arrangement with all kinds of accent. Roses weren't something Kate liked either, but there's a local tradition behind blue roses. No one really remembers this kind of stuff anymore, except for florists in the region. It's a lost tradition. What's the tradition? In folklore, children would leave a single blue flower at the grave of their father. Blue roses became particularly popular because they weren't naturally occurring. The gesture symbolizes peace or serenity, depending on who you ask. My grandfather always told me that leaving a blue rose would help a father's spirit move on. Otherwise, they cling to this world to watch over their children. It grants the deceased an acceptance of their passing and allows their children to grieve. I'm certain that I was meant to find that rose. Your dad was meant to have it. Lucia's words at his graveside echo through my mind. I do have an idea, if you want to leave him something meaningful. So that's what she meant. It seems like more of a coincidence than anything. Still, I'm left with questions. I don't get your meaning. Why do you think the rose was fateful? It seems like someone dropped them off after Kate's service, that's all. I think you're wrong. Fate put those roses there for a reason, regardless of who brought them. You were meant to take part in that tradition for him. I felt frustration ebb into my voice. Yeah, but why? Why? It was the question that always haunted me. Why did my dad have to die? Why did Mom leave? Why was everything familiar gone in an instant? Lucia smiles with patience beyond her years, as if she's waiting for my realization. Why? Because your dad doesn't need to worry about you being alone anymore. I'm here now. I fumble, racing to organize my thoughts. Do you? Do you really mean that? Ellie, that rose was waiting for us. He deserves to be at peace. You're not alone anymore. I'm going I'm not going anywhere if you want me around. My tears threatened to overflow, but I craned my neck backwards to stop them. Deep breath in, deep breath out. When I look back to her, I can only bear air to whisper my answer. I want you to stay. I will. For the first time since my dad died, I feel a bond. A new connection. I don't want to lose her. You keep your promise, right? What did I promise? I grin at her. To text me once you drop me off. Lucia reaches for her phone and begins to tap away at the screen. Is she texting me right now? She gasps suddenly. Oh shoot! We need to get soon, it's getting pretty late. If we stay much longer, you're gonna miss your trick-or-treaters. You've got a date with your leftover candy, too. As much as I don't want to leave quite yet, I don't want to keep Lucia too late. We better go. I don't need kids egging my place. Plus, I don't want you to missing that party. I think I'll skip out. It's been an interesting day. Well, I hope you find the energy to go out. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Mine too. And don't worry, I'm going to send you pictures of my costume. I'm sure you'll love them. I can't help but bite my lip. Looking forward to it. Lucia waves towards the waitress. Can we get the bill, please? I'll get that right away. The waitress glances towards our untouched plates. I'm sorry, was there something wrong with your cheesecake? No. We're in a bit of a rush, that's all. Could we get takeout boxes, please? Of course! Thanks for coming. Happy Halloween. With the bill paid, we cross the street and head to Lucia's car. I focused on giving Lucia directions to my neighborhood. I can't help but feel eager to get a box of Halloween decorations dusted off and onto my doorstep. I'm at number 235. Right here? Yeah, that's my place. Lucia pulls over and parks the car. As the engine switches off, I can't help but wonder what she's up to. I thought she'd just drop me off. Let me walk you to your door. You don't have to do that. She giggles softly. Of course I do. This place is crawling with monsters. Little superheroes, princesses, and gals begin to trickle out into the streets, passing by houses without porch lights. I hurry up the steps and unlock my door. As I turn the key, I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. What? No goodbye? I stick out my tongue. Don't act so worried. I'm not ditching you just yet. I look back and pop the door open, hit the light switch, and watch as the dim orange glow flickers on. It looks like you get plenty of kids on the street. Oh yeah, I rarely have any leftover candy. That's too bad. I would have liked to steal some. You're lucky then. Why's that? 'Cause you get the first pick! I have a stash just for myself, and I might be willing to share. Doesn't that mean you'll have to make plans to see me again? I guess so. Lucia steps closer. I can smell the faint remnants of a pumpkin and an espresso aroma swirling around her. Her gaze drifts downwards from my eyes and traces my lips. I'd like that. Is she? Boo! An eruption of laughter echoes from across the street. A group of trick-or-treaters were trying to scare their friends. Lucia adjusts the strap of her purse, clearly flustered. I've been thinking about our next date. I can't help but smile when she says date. You have? Yep. Maybe we could go with something casual. Coffee wasn't casual? I meant the topics. I'd love to know your favorite music is, or what your childhood pets were like. I want to know more about you. My heartbeat quickens. I like where you're going with that. I can do simple. As long as you spill some details too. I want to hear all about your past. Ex-boyfriends, adventures, everything. Lucia begins to fidget again, this time with her necklace. Well, you won't have to worry about boyfriends. She seems anxious about the admission. That's a relief. No competition. I try my best to make her laugh, but all I get is a grin. Worth it. Do you like horror movies? Yes. Although I'm more into ghost stories, slashers aren't my thing. Alright. Did you want to come over tomorrow night? We can eat candy and watch a haunted house film. Her eyes light up. I'd love to! Great, it's a plan. Although I do have one question for you. What is it? Should I expect flowers? Always. I guess I better buy a vase. Don't be silly, I can bring one. Lucia reaches into her purse and taps at her phone. It's getting late. I think I should head home. There's something else I wanted to say before you go. Okay. Is that... If you do change your mind about us seeing each other again, it's okay. What do you say? Why do you say that? Because meeting you was a blessing either way. You made me see myself so clearly. I used to think that I'd never make a step forward, that my grief hadn't changed. Today you were a mirror into my past. I could finally see that I've been doing whatever I needed to. I'm growing. So blue roses and fade aside, you lost your sister this week. I'd rather you lean on me and not the other way around. I always want you to take as much time as you need before we see each other again. If you wake up tomorrow and can't get out of bed, that's natural. I'm not in a rush. I'll wait for you when you're ready to spend time together. Put yourself first. Lucia nods. Thank you for saying that. But just so you know, you can't get out of our date that easy. I expect chocolate bars and lollipops tomorrow night, or you're in big trouble. Good to know. I'll be ready. Lucia bites her bottom lip absent-mindedly. I'm glad that I found you today. I can't wait to get to know you better. Lucia inches closer to me. Good night, Ellie. Oh! Lucia wraps her arms around me in a warm embrace. I think you're an amazing person. Thank you for today. I smile. No, thank you. I'm glad you found me, Lucia. I squeeze her tight. Good night. Good night. That's Graveyard Girls for you. I might go through the other options. No, I will go through the other options. The closed offness options. Golden morning light trickles across my windowsill with a beautiful sunrise. For the first time that I can remember, I'm glad to see a new day. I snuggle under the covers to enjoy 1 second of warmth. I sigh. Instead of angry words, anxious dreams, or dark cravings, there's only one thing on my mind. One person. I imagine her in the room with me. What would that be like? Maybe I'd make her pancakes. We could sit down for breakfast and chat the morning away. I bet she'd love a coffee. The fantasy warms my forgotten ice in my heart. Despite being alone, I want to say it. Good morning, Lucia. I'll see you soon. It's a promise to myself, one I intend to keep. Oh wow. Yeah, I was silent. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say because, well, I don't know. Anyway, I'll go back. We'll read all the closed offness parts and see if it changes anything. It looks like someone brought you flowers. That was thoughtful. If I were to guess, I'd say it was Aunt Cora. She misses you. She tried so hard to be there for Mom after your accident. Nope, that's too much. I cleared my throat and tried to refocus on lighter thoughts. I guess I should give you my update on life. You'll be happy to hear that I finished college. Just going to leave out the part where I nearly failed a dozen times. At least you tried again, and you got what you were looking for. I studied tourism and hospitality. It seemed interesting enough. I got a job in my field too. I work at the front desk of the Spring Dream Suites. It's a starter job. I won't be there forever. Famous last words. I'd love to work at a resort in the tropics someday. Living on an island would be dreamy. I rub my hands together distractedly, feeling a frosty nip in my fingertips. Anywhere warmer than here would be fine. I feel at loss for what to say next. I ended things with, never mind, that's in the past. You didn't know him that well anyway. I don't know what else to tell you. There are parts of my life that I wouldn't feel alright about sharing. I'm holding back the negative side. It's not what I need to focus on, but I didn't realize how little good news I have. Dad, I'm trying to keep moving forward, but I feel like I'm all talk. I made a lot of bad choices, and I'm trying to leave them behind. I'm still making those choices, even when I try not to. I know I can't pretend like they never happen, but handling conversations about mistakes isn't something I'm practiced at. A smirk pulls at the edge of my lips, even if they're one-sided conversations. I know I don't get excuses either, but no one gets to prepare for sudden goodbyes. Anyway, I've been writing. Quite a lot, actually, almost daily. I think I could skip here. Ask her name. What's your name? I'm Lucia. And you are? I quickly realized that I should have introduced myself first. It would have been a polite thing to do. Why do I always feel so disjointed when I meet new people? It's embarrassing. My name's Ellie, it's nice to meet you. I sounded more robotic than genuine, but at least I'm trying. So Ellie, lie for her comfort. I decided that I shouldn't dump my experience on her. She has enough going on right now. I don't need to freak her out about dealing with complicated grief. I think so. It depends on how often you come here. If you're visiting on emotional days, it's going to be more difficult. I try visiting on normal days if I were you. Drop in or whatever. That's smart. Thanks for the advice. I guess today is technically one of those normal days. Halloween wasn't super special to Kate. Lucia looks towards my father's headstone, and I skip. Let's go with sexy. Sexy costumes are fun. She winks at me playfully. How did I know you'd suggest that? Fighting back a goofy grin, I bite my cheek hard. A flash of pain dances across my face. Ellie, are you okay? I'm fine. I was thinking about what costume you might have. Why would you say that? I somehow managed to embarrass myself more than I feared. Lucia politely ignores the comment, instead of teasing me. So, let's skip. No. I think I need a break. I'm not saying never, but today isn't the right time for me to talk about this. Lucia shifts suddenly as she runs her fingers through her hair. Is she uncomfortable? Ellie, I'm sorry. Please don't apologize. It's fine. But Lucia hesitates. I'm not fine. I'm horrible. Lucia, please let me explain. What could she possibly mean? I decide to hear her out. I was being selfish. I know it sounds weird, but I tricked you into coming here. She pauses and stares cautiously, waiting for my reply. I don't understand. How did you trick me? When I brought that rose for your dad, I was focused on how you might be able to help me. The idea that you might understand how I felt, it drew me to you. But I've been pushy, even manipulative. I thought if I convinced you to go out for coffee, I could persuade you to open up. I wanted to dig at your wounds to understand my own. I used that rose to make you feel like you owed me. That was self-serving. I'm so fake. I shouldn't have done that. It was awful. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say. What's wrong with me? I'm not that kind of person. Why would I risk hurting a complete stranger? I'm sorry, Ellie. Lucia, please don't. I'm ashamed of myself. I won't bother you again. We should go. She grabs her purses and digs for her wallet. Oh wow, I did not expect it to go this way. Okay. Will we just go home? Maybe you're right. Could you give me a ride home? Yeah, of course. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. And here I was thinking that you were already sick of me. The acid in my tone is unrestrained. Lucia runs her fingers through her hair anxiously. No, that's not it. I know it's not. But you're so focused on beating yourself up that you can't see how you actually hurt me. Lucia freezes in place. What else did I do wrong? It's your phrasing. I'm not a complete stranger. Maybe it's not the same for you, but I've already told you more about myself than anyone else in years. Minus therapists and doctors, but that doesn't count. What it took for me to come here, or with you, knowing that we'd end up talking about death. That we might become friends. It took a lot of courage for me to leave the cemetery with you. I've been afraid to take chances or make connections. A fear of death has seeped into and stolen every moment of living joy since my dad died. It's paralyzing. Today was a leap, and I know I can't expect you to see that. It's true that we just met, but please don't call me a stranger. Lucia stills in her seat. Ellie, there's a reason I called you a stranger. It's because otherwise, I'd have to admit how much I liked you. I feel like you know me too well, especially since we only met today. You make me feel vulnerable, and that's scary. My breath catches in my throat. Like me? As soon as I found you sleeping, I wanted to know you. I could have kept walking to my car, but I didn't. I'm sorry that I simplified meeting you. You're not a stranger. You're my friend, I hope? If not now, I'd like to be friends someday. She's so sincere. How can someone be that easy to forgive? It's automatic, entirely without hesitation. I thought I was the type to hold a grudge. Guess I'm not when it comes to her. I think we're friends. Please know I'm not hangry. But I do have an important question for you. You need to answer honestly. I will. Okay. You'll keep your promise, right? What did I promise? I grin at her. To text me once you drop me off. Lucia reaches for her phone and begins to tap away at the screen. Is she texting me right now? She gasps suddenly. Oh shoot, we need to get going soon. It's pretty late. I wonder if it's just going to be the same. If we stay much longer, you're going to miss your trick-or-treaters. You got the date with your leftover candy, too. As much as I don't want to leave quite yet, I don't want to keep Lucia too late. We better go. I don't need kids egging my place. Plus, I don't want you missing that party. I think I'll step out. It's been an interesting day. I can understand why she'd want to stay at home. I hope you celebrate however you want to. Maybe I'll watch a scary movie. You like horror? Lucia instantly perks up. I love horror. More ghostly stuff, less blood and guts. Well, now we need to have a scary movie night. Embarrassment catches up to me. I mean, if you want to. Don't be shy. I'd love to have a movie night. Let me make it a plan. Just text me when you're free. We'll figure it out. Great. Lucia waves to the waitress. Can we get the bill, please? Sure thing. Do you like takeout boxes for your leftovers? Yes, please. Okay. I'll be with you in a moment. As the waitress heads back inside, Lucia reaches for her purse once again. I wave my hand, motioning for her to stop. I'll cover that $17 bill, it's okay. What are you doing? I'd like to pay. No way, I invited you. I wink at her, hoping to make her blush. Let me pay. That way I can brag that it was a date. You will still brag? Just pick up the tab for our next coffee date. My heart flutters against my ribs. Deal. Let's head out. Thanks for coming. Happy Halloween. With the bill paid, we cross the street and head to Lucia's car. I focus on giving Lucia directions to my neighborhood, although I can't help but wish we'd had more time together. I'm at number 235. Right here? Yeah, that's my place. Lucia pulls over and parks the car. As the engine switches off, I can't help but wonder what she's up to. I thought she'd drop me off. Can I walk you to the door? I try not to sound overeager. Yes! Cringe. She definitely noticed the break in my voice. She giggles softly. You're lucky I'm here to protect you from all those monsters. Little superheroes, princesses, and gals begin to trickle out into the streets, passing by houses without porch lights. I hurry up the steps and unlock my door. As I turn the key, I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. What, no goodbye? I stick out my tongue. Don't act so worried. I'm not ditching you just yet. I look back and pop the door open, hit the light switch, and watch as a dim orange glow flickers on. Are you sure you'll have any candy left after tonight? There's so many kids out. Don't worry, I have a secret stash with all my favorites. When it comes to candy, I always plan ahead. I like how you think. I smile back at her. Anxiety tugs at my chest, interrupting the moment. How can we say goodbye now? It feels like we were just starting to connect. Lucia fiddles with the strap across her shoulder. Is she nervous too? Ellie? Yes? Would it be weird if She trails off. No, forget it. I desperately want to reach out to her, but to do my best to resist. I don't know what her personal bubble is like. It's better to leave it be. Now you got me curious. She stays still. Please, I'm dying to know what you're saying. Okay. Don't make fun of me, okay? I won't. Quit overthinking. I'm not that mean. Can I hug you, please? I'm taken aback by her polite shyness. Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive I ever asked. No, it's fine. I'd like a hug. Lucia wraps her arms around me in a warm embrace. She pulls me close, closer than I expected. I want to see you again. My answer is instant. You will. Thank you for finding me, Lucia. I'm glad you did. Oh, nice. Oh, this dame is dedicated to the memory of my father. I miss you, Dad. I didn't get that last time. Huh. Are these journal entries? Oh boy. Oh. Dear future self, I knew she wouldn't come back. I knew it, and I tried to convince myself she was telling the truth regardless. I need a vacation, and you need a break. I'll be home soon. Turns out that was a load of BS. Mom could have pointed to a blue sky and announced that it was all red, and I would have just nodded my head in agreement. What the frick is wrong with me? She doesn't have to puppet me. I've always bent and twisted myself to anticipate her every need. She called today and asked for her social, so I went into the filing cabinet and fact-checked it for her like a good daughter. When I asked her why she needed it, I already knew the answer. Mom got an apartment 1,200 miles away with her, and her reason was simple. I'm protecting you. But after some questions, it changed. You're going to college. I'll be alone anyway. But then it transformed once more. You're too much to handle right now. Okay, great. That's all for now. I doubt she's calling again soon. She's automated an allowance, so I won't starve or miss any bills. Bye, Ellie. Grief isn't a low, it's a terrifying high atop a mountain I never climbed. How am I supposed to make my descent? I cling to the first step, soft palms already stained red. The steep cliffs terrified and welcome me. The temptation of flight beckons, the crash an afterthought. I think to jump, but I'm already falling. No one even noticed. My daddy lives in a city of locked doors that face the sky, and when I knock, no one answers. In my hand, I grip a key that can't be thrown away. I'm sorry I can't see you right now, Daddy. I'm not ready for the door to lock behind me. I don't know what's on the other side. An anchor to cling to at the bottom of this ocean, my soul bleed on bedrock as I grip this chain. I'll drag myself to the surface. There may be no light, but there is air. I will gulp it greedily. What the frick was last night? I used to think movies were playing it up. I rolled my eyes when characters would throw their blankets aside and scream themselves awake. It seemed exaggerated. Last night I clenched my fist so tight that my nails tore through my palms. It's a good thing I have dark bedding, no bloodstains. At least I'm a quick thinker. It's fixed now. Trim nails, sleeping pills, no more problems. The real monsters came out to play. The darkness under my bed found the bottom of the bottle. I want a deeper sleep, where the dreams can't find me. I can't see Daddy anymore. He's torn up, blurred, rotten. Memories were a gift that the pain stole away. I didn't want to erase those moments. I dug so deep, searching for him, that I clawed my way into the world of nightmares. I reach for the flavors that taste like death and wonder when it'll come to visit. A fiery inhale, ashy exhale, flood my lungs with moonlight and build these walls. I miss the bitter kiss of codeine? Odin? On my tongue. It used to make my heart numb. It's a pretty kind of poison when I crush it with those memories. I haven't found anything strong enough to erase this overdose on missing you. I don't want to wish you away, but I can't stand to remember. Midnight hasn't blurred these ghosts. You can't be forgotten, but this stranger's sheet can hide me away for a while. I'm the only one that knows I'm here. I shut my eyes to pull him closer. Exhale. I will hold him soon, until I let him go. Does he know that I'm shackled to a lonely stone that raised a wall between life and death? I'm glad that there's extra stuff here. It just gives everything more meaning for me. I'll comfort her this time. Lucia, wait. Huh? I'm not... I scramble for an excuse to say. I'm not done with my cheesecake yet. Oh, okay. I can wait. I look towards her untouched plate. Aren't you hungry? A little. She can clearly see my excuse for what it is, but picks up a fork anyway. I've never had pumpkin cheesecake before. Is it good? Why don't you take a bite and see for yourself? Oh, right. Good idea. I pop a forkful of cheesecake into my mouth. Flavors of pumpkin, cinnamon, and whipped cream swirled together to make up a dreamy autumn dessert. Well, what do you think? I swallow in a hurry and reach for another bite. It's amazing. I knew you'd love it. I think I have a new favorite kind of cake. Thanks for bringing me here today. Lucia reads for my encouragement. It's no excuse for what I did. Lucia, I'm not here to make excuses. I just know that I'm not perfect either, even years after losing my dad. Feeling lost is natural. It's okay to catch yourself doing things differently. Just see it for what it is. A hiccup. Learn the lesson and avoid repeating it. Hurting other people isn't a hiccup. Don't simplify it. Okay, go ahead and beat yourself up forever then. Maybe you're looking for something new to hurt you. What? Maybe it's easier to focus on hating yourself instead of feeling the real pain you're in. I understand why you want to focus on anything other than losing Kate. I didn't see it that way. I was prepared to hyper-focus on being manipulative and hating myself for it. I was ready to think about anything other than Kate's death. That's your subconscious trying to cope, although in a destructive kind of way. Yeah, I think you're right. Look, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my observations too seriously. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to seek out a therapist. I know it's not exactly affordable, but if you can manage, it's worth every penny. I'll talk to my parents about it. That's a good plan. Earlier, I was trying to tell you that it's okay to be upset. I was trying to accept your apology, too. I smile. Pulls out of the corner of Lucia's lips, but she fights it. Thank you. I know today has been strange, but I do want to tell you about losing my dad. It's just that today isn't the right time for it. My past can't help you navigate this experience. I'd rather you focus on yourself right now. Stop worrying about me and start thinking about how you're going to handle the next few days. That's more important. I think I get it. I do have a question for you, if you don't mind. I'm sure I don't mind. You'll keep your promise, right? Yeah, I'll definitely keep my promise. Alright. Okay, there was like one more thing, I think. I don't believe in fate. I'm not sure what to say. It's a nice thought, but I don't believe in fate. Why? I want to believe that I decide the path I'll take, nothing else. I spend so much time feeling powerless and weak. If I get to decide my purpose, at least that's one thing I have control over. Your sister was so young. My dad was too. I don't think fate made that teenager crash into my dad. I think his own stupid decisions did. I made stupid decisions too. Grief pushed me over the edge, and I let it drive my life for too long. I want to write my own story now. Lucia nods and her smile brightens. If fate didn't send me, then I guess I found you all on my own. That's special too. But I have to argue fate's case. Okay. She argues fate's case. Are there any more memories to share? I think that's everything. Oh yeah, yes, and then skip, and then take a break. I think I need a break. I'm not saying never, but today isn't the right time to talk about this. Oh, and then we have the same problem here. I think I've read everything, basically. I'm pretty sure I read everything. If I didn't, then I missed something. But ultimately, I enjoyed this experience, this visual novel, and the game is so pretty. It's so pretty. And it talks about a lot of deep topics. And I feel like anyone should be able to understand at least a sliver of what someone else is going through if they're going through the same thing. I think they have a right to the wisdom of that understanding. And if someone is patient enough to give them that shoulder or that ear or what they need, then that is something that is very special. I hope you guys enjoyed this story today. That is Graveyard Girls. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.